8.1 lesson is over inverse variation. So you have direct variation and inverse variation. On the front page, there are two word problem examples that kind of explain the difference between the variations. So on the first one, you have a weight on a spring, and as the weight gets larger, the spring gets longer. So this would be an example of direct variation, because as one quantity gets bigger, the other quantity as well gets bigger. On example 2, this is inverse variation. You want to know what would make 64 square inches. So if one side's 1 times 64, 2 times 32, all the way down would make 64. So as one quantity gets bigger, the other quantity gets smaller. So this is my equation. So this would be inverse, because as one goes one way, the other goes the other way. So whenever you're trying to classify the equations as direct, inverse, or neither, you always want to solve for y. So on letter A, to solve for y, I would divide by x. So when I move x over, x ends up on the bottom of the fraction, so that is inverse. Adding and subtracting are neither variation. When I move 2 over, x is multiplied by a number, so that is direct variation. Down here, you see x times y turns into x on the bottom, which is inverse. So if I take x and y and multiply each time, I get negative 24 every time I multiply x times y. So when you multiply and you get the same number all the way throughout your table, that's called inverse. If I was to multiply here, I don't get inverse because I don't get the same number. So I can try dividing, and if I was to divide them, I don't get the same number either. So that would be an example of neither variation. The last part of the notes is writing equations. So it's going to tell you that x and y vary inversely. So this is your equation, inverse equation. Y is 4, x is 3. So I want to find what k is. So I just move my 3 over by multiplying, so k is 12. So I'm going to replace k back where k is in the original equation. Then it says, find y when x is negative 2. So I just put negative 2 where x is, now that I know what k is, and y is negative 6. This extra practice is just deciding if things are inverse, direct, or neither, and then 2 more examples of equations. So you can use this to help you on your homework. If x is on the bottom, it's inverse. Adding and subtracting is neither. If x is multiplied by a number, it's direct. Okay, in your tables, x times y, if it's the same number, it's inverse. If you have to go to dividing and it's the same number, then it would be direct, but since neither of these are the same, that's why it's neither. And then here's 2 more examples of writing equations. Let me know if you need any help, and I would love to help you.